Space, the final frontier. Well, okay, not really. All right, take two. Here in the Mitten State, welcome to Code 47, bringing you all things Star Trek, spanning the quadrants, the best thing since the neutral zone.
Oh my goodness, back again with the Code 47 podcast on the Secret Friends Unite podcast network. This is episode 118. And I am your Trek Lord of West Michigan, Charlie Carden, your host, here with a cavalcade of regular folks who are with me and a very special guest star for a very special first segment, which will be a part of our show from ongoing. But from the right to the left on my screen, I have the awesome Jen Watson from Chicago. Good morning.
Good morning.
Saman Peter Stein from right here in West Michigan, my chief engineer on the USS Grand Petoskey. Hello.
Hey.
Hey. And the gentleman who joins us from time to time, offering his satirical takes, taking apart Star Trek, my co-host of 30 years, Mr. TODD OXTRA. Hello.
Hello. Yes, I'm ancient.
Yes, I mean, yes, he is as ancient as the Oracle of Adelphi.
I am the guardian of forever.
I like it. Ever. Yes, I had a little reverb. But yeah, we have a fun new segment that we're debuting this week, which I've teased, talked about it over on Secret Friends Unite, our main podcast with Todd. But before we get into that, gotta pay the bills by giving some love and affection to our fantastic Patreons. We do have a great Patreon site over at patreon.com/SecretFriendsUnite. All three of the folks with me today have done Patreon segments with me on a recurring basis over on my show, Boop Boop Boop, the t-shirt I'm wearing, The Facts of Geek Life. Both Jen and Peter have broken down a season of a classic series with me. Todd, you have as well. We tackled Sliders a while back, which I know you didn't love, but we had fun.
And then Sliders.
Yeah. Oh, it's so perfectly 90s. But Todd and I do a recurring podcast called Spin a Rack on the Patreon, where we cover usually a trade paperback of a different series, and we always have a good time. So those two shows come out on alternating Fridays, and we have a lot of other cool content. We've got some cool stuff, we're launching a new interview show, so we're actually pretty excited about that as well, Todd and I, of which other SFU stars will probably get involved. So anyway, over on our Friends with Benefits level, Corey in HD, John Sedorf, the awesome Phoenix Sisters cosplay, Brendan Myers, and friend to the show, Matthew Keel. BFF level, we have the awesome Nias family, the Twin Cities, Sean, Stella, and Henry, and our friend and collaborator, Missy Merchant. So thank you to all of you for your ongoing support. Again, please visit patreon.com/SecretFriendsUnite for a free 7-day trial. Check out our wares, and if you like what you hear, please feel free to stick around. Okay. We have some actual news this week. Quick bits, because we want to get into the main thrust of the program. We have an actual announcement. These are headlines from TrekMovie.com of the actual casting of the Section 31 TV movie. A TV movie is a first for Star Trek, if I'm not mistaken, unless I'm drawing a blank. Besides the short treks. Besides the short treks, which weren't a movie at all, but they were not an episode. So this is cool. This is going to be a show starring, obviously, Michelle Yeoh as her Empress Georgiou character that we met in Discovery seasons 1, 2, and 3. And we got a cast of people that I know, one of them, because I love Sam Richardson, who I see pictured here. There was a great show on Comedy Central called Detroiters a number of years back, and I'm a Detroiter, so I appreciated that. But he was most recently an awesome character, I thought, in Ted Lasso, which was a show I was very late to the party with. But I had Todd and Mark Carabin, our third co-host, kind of badgering me about that show for a very long time. But yeah, we've got some other names in here. I'm not necessarily going to blast through all of them, but I'll simply ask my co-host, guys, anybody on here that's jumping out at you that you're like, oh man, I love that guy/girl/person? Anybody?
I don't think I knew any of them. So
no one I've heard of. I mean, the fact that we haven't heard of them is fine, though. Yeah, totally. I mean, it just means that it's not what we expected that it would be. recent article that I wrote that was about that too, where it's not the Section 31 spanning time and universes where we're going to get, Sloan and Bashir and Reed and William Boimler, like we're not getting that. But I think what we are going to get is going to be interesting. And I'm just going to go into it with an open mind. Michelle Yeoh's great.
Yep.
So I trust them.
Yeah. Cool. Any other thoughts, guys?
The second, the actress, let's see, Casey Roll. She's done a lot of genre stuff. So she was actually in the reboot of the V series. So there you go.
Nice. Okay.
She was also in Magicians, which is a series I love. So sounds like a lot of these actors, are really doing pieces that you've seen them before. You might be like, oh, I recognize them. But I'm glad, to your point, getting a little bit of unknowns does help add to the mystery. We don't know what type of actor they're like and what they'll add to the role. Would be fun.
Right, exactly. Instead of the same old. No, I totally agree. So follow the link on Trek Movie if you'd like to learn more. But again, just kind of a brief touch. One is assuming with the casting announcement, production will be imminent. So it actually says right here that according to our previous reporting, production was set to begin yesterday. And this is an article.
I believe the production's already underway.
And is set to run for about 6 weeks through March 13. So there you go. So with March 13, I would put this out here probably a year or so. So maybe this time next year, we'll get our claws on this over on Paramount Plus.
On how many SFX
it's
guys
not in the fall.
Oh, yes.
Depending on how much post they have to do. It's not like they have to do a bunch of post on like a whole season. It's it's a made-for-TV movie.
Yeah, and a made-for-TV movie would be a double-length episode, which they produce an episode in a month or something. Yeah. That's a very good point. We'll
get it when we get it.
It would be super cool if we did see this year. So, and then secondly, from the what I call potpourri, and we were talking a little bit about this in the B-roll. Todd and I are kids of the '80s. We grew up with the sitcom Night Court, which has had a recent revival, and it's very sitcom-y. So if you enjoy that stuff and you have the nostalgia for it, so much the better. But John Larroquette is one of the heritage stars of that show. He played smarmy DA Dan Fielding in the original show, and in this he's back in the same role. Not smarmy, thankfully, because that would just kind of be a one note. But anyway, just contemporaneously when that show came out in 1984, he was also in Star Trek 3, my favorite film. He was a member of the Klingon crew, where the ship was helmed by none other than Christopher Lloyd as Commander Krug. The character was known as Maltz. He was the only survivor of that ship that Kirk said, I'll kill you later. And once they took the ship, and we never saw him again. So we don't know if that happened, but it probably didn't.
I have to ask, did he, in the episode, say anything about how he does not deserve to live?
Don't get ahead of me now, Peter, because you're putting the cart before the horse.
I haven't seen it. It's a legitimate question.
You're burying the lead. But anyway, he doesn't, unless I wasn't paying attention. But anyway, in this past week's episode of the new Night Court, which stars Melissa Rauch of The Big Bang Theory, if you're not familiar, as the main character, she's the judge. He's back in his old job, or he's actually the defense lawyer, I think, on the show. In an episode centered around Comic-Con, a very generic event. Of course, there was a Comic-Con in New York City, which is where this is set. He has to infiltrate by dressing up as a Klingon-like individual. Now, it's funny, if you look at the headshot in this article I've shared, as Peter pointed out in the pre-roll, he appears to be wearing Michael Dorn's Klingon ridges, and he already has a beard, has long hair, but his outfit is very generic-y, Ren Fair kind of whatever. Obviously, they don't want to get sued. It's not on Paramount Plus. It was a fun callback in name only. If you have the link open that I shared with you guys, as you scroll by, you see him kind of head to toe, and it looks absolutely nothing like a Klingon. But yes, and he is flirting with a Catwoman played by heritage actress Wendy Malick, who has actually never been in Star Trek, one of the few that I can, unless I'm mistaken. But anyway, it was fun, but it was dumb, and it was, like I said, it was played for dumb laughs for people who, watched The Big Bang Theory and thought, what a bunch of nerds. And the entire show was really kind of focused around how Comic-Con is full of dweebs. So yes, it is chew for the masses. I didn't find it offensive because I typically don't get offended by sitcoms if I can help it. But I thought it was kind of cute. And at the end, he does scream "Con!" like Comic-Con. Wow, really nailed it there.
He looks like a Klingon that walked out of Game of Thrones.
Yeah.
He does.
Yeah.
Oh, they do allude, if you keep scrolling down to there's a clip posted from the 6th season of Night Court where Bull, who is the bailiff in that show, Richard Mole, who recently passed away, is breaking up some pseudo Star Trek people that came from a con in really poorly off-brand outfits. This was, and then you do see John Larroquette over Bull's elbow there in the cap here, but it appears to be the divide between TOS and TNG, as the one character is wearing a bad green knockoff of the TNG uniform with Geordi's visor. And also remember that Brent Spiner had an early role on the show as Bob the Luckless Hick, I believe was how he was always credited. So, Todd, you also watched Night Court, but you said that you haven't caught up. And again, I don't feel like anything that I've said will necessarily ruin your experience. So if I did, sorry.
Well, no, and the greatest thing about this article is the fact that, John Larroquette was interviewed by Starlog, which Starlog needs to come back. Can we
please
reboot Starlog?
Just starlog.com. Let's do it. Somebody buy it. Yeah.
Get it out there. Everybody wants to start writing articles for a newspaper. We'll get some, or a magazine, a zine. Maybe just make a zine. Very cool. Print it on our Canon printers and distribute it to the masses.
You better believe it. All right. Well, that's it for the news. Nothing too sexy. We don't have any shows on the horizon until we get back to Discovery, which leads me in to our brand new, super exciting segment 1 of the show, which we are calling Random Sode, or episode, if you need to be that guy. What we're doing is that several weeks ago, our core cast here, Peter, Jen, and Aaron, who's not with us today, stumbled upon an idea that I had. Let's do a random generator, a la a D20 die, or whatever you want to call it. I'm not a D&D guy, as you know, and we'll roll for series. There are 12 selections, being that we counted the short treks in the animated series, for better or for worse. Then roll for the appropriate number of seasons of that program. Then you roll for an episode, and you have your random sode. So who was the person who rolled for the first one? Was it me? I can't remember.
This was yours.
This was mine. You bet. So yes. I rolled a 4, and then a 2, and then a 10, which gives us Star Trek Enterprise, Season 2, Episode 10, Vanishing Point. All right. So at Todd's request, because Todd is not super familiar with Enterprise, to quickly summarize, if you're one of our listeners who is working their way through Star Trek, potentially you like one of the newer shows, you're going back and watch some of the heritage stuff on Paramount Plus or elsewhere. Star Trek Enterprise starred Scott Bakula, was also set on a ship, but we are 100 years prior to the original series with Earth Starfleet. This is the first vessel that Earth has come up with a Warp 5 engine, which allows them to travel greater distances. And so they're getting into new parts of their galaxy that they've not visited before. This introduces newer forms of technology, new, phase pistols, which are a little bit more like phasers, and the transporter, which is this is the first vessel in which a transporter, which is approved to beam people around by breaking their molecules down, putting them back together. Very, very standard heritage part of the Star Trek franchise. This was the first ship to have something like that. So, all right. So this has to do with a couple of our characters and the Enterprise, the transporter going awry, which in the pre-roll, Jen, before you jumped on, Peter and Todd and I were talking, how many episodes do we have where the transporter going awry drives the plot? And we
several
came up with between 10 and 15. That is a big number. But again, in 900 episodes, it's really a small number. It's all very relative. So, all right. Yeah. So we're getting the episode rolling. I'll read a couple of graphs from my notes, and then we can just kind of go, we'll say clockwise, my view. So I'll talk a bit, and Jen, I'll slide over to Jen. Peter, you jump in, and then Todd from your notes as well. And then we'll just kind of keep it fluid. We won't go forever, but we'll do as deep a dive as really necessary for this episode, depending on how you feel about it. So, all right. So are you ready? I'm going to take that as a yes. Okay,
Yeah.
so we get the episode rolling in the cold open. Hoshi and Trip is the engineer, Hoshi's the comm officer, are doing a trip on an archaeological site, and he's taking pictures. Still not really sure why it's the two of them and nobody else, but there they are. Now, I did note, Jen, you'll appreciate this as a fan of Voyager. He's got a camera that he's snapping pictures with that just looks like my iPhone, but several hundred years in the future, when the Doctor on Voyager has a camera, it's like 5 times the size.
Yeah.
So, did camera technology suffer some catastrophic change in the time in between?
Well, the Doctor's camera is a holographic imager.
Oh, okay.
So it's not just
holograms.
Yeah.
Oh, there we go.
360.
Yeah.
Everything information.
What an easy getaway for them. So Trips is just an iPhone. It's going to the cloud. He can put it on Instagram. Good stuff. So anyway, as naturally, things are cool for a second, and then boom, we got some trouble. There's a storm coming in. You go back up to the bridge. There's a lot of exposition. This thing is happening. That thing is happening. The shuttle pod that they flew down in can't take off. We're gonna have to use the transporter. I'm sure that everything will be absolutely fine. And then, of course, it turns into, all right, we can now beam you up, but only one at a time. What? Could something go wrong there? And Hoshi's all, well, I don't like it. It's super scary, yada, yada, yada. We're leaning, and we haven't even gotten to the credits yet. We're really leaning in while she's griping about it. And then she gets beamed up. Everything seems fine. Or is it? Okay. Then we jump into the theme song. Jen,
it's been a long road.
Where do you land with the theme song? I know it gets so much hatred. So are you a lover or are you a hater?
I love it.
Me too.
I can't help it. I was iffy at first. I watched this as it aired more or less.
Same.
So I was iffy. I'm like, what? Why always have words? But now I'm watching it. I'm like, I can't skip the intro. I'm singing along. I like it. I'm sorry. I can't help it.
I do love it. Just punctuating with, there was a great story when we interviewed John Billingsley, who played Dr. Phlox, that he talked about when he was driving onto the set one day that there were protesters outside of Paramount Studios that were just protesting the theme song. That was it. They didn't have any other objections. That was the hill that they wanted to die on. A song really quickly written by Diane Warren, and if you remember the late '90s film Patch Adams, which starred Robin Williams, there's a version of this song sung by Rod Stewart, which is just how I choose to remember it because I love Rod Stewart.
I was going to say the guy singing this sounded exactly like
this
Rod
was sung
Stewart.
Somewhere else.
Yeah, before this, yeah. So this
song was written specifically for Enterprise.
It was not. Yeah, because I think Patch Adams came out in 97, 98. I don't know. That's a job for Mr. Google. Feel free to hit us up on Thread.
Couldn't get Bob Seger to do a song for this Charlie.
Oh my God! Can you imagine Bob Seger singing this Michigan Zone? That's a good grab, Todd. I appreciate that. All right. Oh, I said it's a great intro song, but it's worse with captions. If you have to read it along. All right. So
how will you sing along?
It's the karaoke version.
That's very true.
Follow the bouncing torpedo.
Yeah, exactly. Oh, very good. All right, so I'm going to turn it over to Jen. Jen, we're through the song. We're into the cold open.
Yeah.
What happens next?
So Hoshi is feeling like something's not quite right.
Right.
She decides that she's going to be able to go to work. Archer says that, no, you should really have the day off. This was something that I really appreciated because so many times in Star Trek you have officers experiencing some sort of trauma and then just going right back to work. So the fact that he's recognizing that you should really take it easy. I liked that. That was a good recognition that we're fine. Right. So she goes to take some rest. And she goes to the mess hall and she's like, can I sit here? And then no one's listening to her. And then she asks again, can I sit here? They start talking about this guy, Cyrus Ramsey, whose molecules were scattered across wherever. It's this ghost story from their survival days. She's like, I have no idea who you're talking about.
Right. She said, I went to the Flint, Michigan campus of Starfleet Academy. Which, if you're not from Michigan, there is at University of Michigan, which is an incredible school, even though Todd and I are MSU grads, has a campus in downtown Flint, which less said about that, the better. No offense, Todd. I know you're from the greater
schools,
Flint area.
Yeah, all the extension schools, yes.
Yes, exactly. So anyway, yes, the Flint campus of Flint Academy.
So she goes to see Phlox. She's like, something's wrong. Phlox is like, you're fine. You're just overreacting. Just go get some sleep. Then she goes to get some sleep. Turns out she overslept. She missed the beginning of her shift.
Terrible.
And she goes to the bridge, and Trip and Mayweather have been taken hostage by the planet, by the aliens. And it's like,
they had to go down.
There were no aliens there. There was no life signs there. So what's going on? And they're getting these messages from them, and Archer's telling her, just talk to them. Just talk to them. And it's like, she can't parse their language. It's not that easy. You can't just work with nothing to figure out what it is. So they're treating it like she's got this superpower to just like understand every language, like Doug Ramsey or something. And like, she can't. So it's this like, he's not getting that this is difficult for her. She's starting to sort of break down, going, something is really wrong here. Something's wrong. They have someone else come in and do her job. So she's like, okay, no one can see me. No one can hear me. Someone else is doing my job. This sucks.
Watch the days go by. This is
not my beautiful house. This is not my beautiful job. This is not my beautiful. Everyone's in the shower. Well, not everyone's in the shower, but like it wouldn't be an episode of Enterprise if someone wasn't in the shower, right?
Somebody has to be some degree of naked. Yeah, it's a very nakedy show.
But that was the time. That was what they were trying to do to get some ratings.
The aughts.
Yeah, pretty much.
Oh my gosh.
So yeah, in the shower, she's like, the water's going through me. This is not right. She's got a couple more incidents of people just not being able to see or hear her. The turbolifts aren't working for her. The doors aren't opening for her. Something is really wrong at this point. Everyone's still telling her it's all in her head. She's fine. And to me, that's kind of frustrating, because it's like, I know people who have had things that are like medically wrong with them, and their doctors just blow it off, and it happens disproportionately to women. Mm-hmm. And that's kind of what this reminded me of.
Yeah.
So, who's next? Take it away.
Peter, please. So we're at the point, let's see where we leave off. Oh, jump us forward to the scene in the gymnasium. So she's in the gymnasium. Trip is in there, and they're rapping.
The weird gyroscope thing.
Yeah, I can't really figure out.
I don't know what that's supposed to do.
Than,
like,
and then
make your stomach better for dealing with the
dialogue
being thrown around and dealing with regulation rocks. I don't know.
Right. And then there's also the chair where there's like a keypad on the wall or something. Anyway, go ahead, please.
So she goes to the gym, because she's still not working, so she's got to go find something to do. And
no TV.
What do? You go to the gym. So Trip's there doing his weird hamster ball thing. And Hoshi then is like, okay, hey, are you experiencing anything weird? Because something's up, and I think it might have something to do with the transporter. And he's like, nah, I'm not experiencing anything, as he's upside down. So the hilarity of that scene is just amazing, because he's like, I'm totally fine, as he's hamster balling it up. So, yeah. So he tries to like make jokes or try to make her feel better, and
he's being Trip.
Trip is being Trip. He's trying to help in the only way that Trip can, which is being a dork, which is fine.
It's Star Trek.
It's Trip. So nothing against him. He's just a dork. That's just how he is. So he even suggests like, hey, what if you take a sedative to try to, calm down a little bit. It's like, okay, and legitimately she's like, that's not what I need. I need to figure this out. And then she finds out that she can't really operate anything, doors, whatever. And then she goes to the mirror and suddenly disappears. Oh no.
Right, and conveniently can reach through things, but ends up being stuck in the gym. Oh, all right, Todd, you're next. Take us over from.
I like that. Yeah. Certain densities. Maybe it's lead. Maybe the doors
Well,
are lead.
because you see her subsequently, she's not able to get out.
Yeah.
Until someone lets her out, and then she ends up in sick bay where she can sit on a desk, but still can't get through doors. But anyway, go ahead, please, Todd. You're next. What's going on
back
next?
To the gym, though, the power blocks, the weights, those are actual real weights. So they use a real thing from current technology for the future. So glad to see that company still doing well and got a contract with Starfleet.
Yeah.
So, so it goes worse and worse for her because essentially now she's essentially a ghost, following along with different members of the crew. They're basically talking about her. We have Phlox and Trip investigating, kind of getting closer to say, hey, we actually looked and saw that we do see on closer examination, her molecules are actually disassociating. And she is, going to disappear. And so we have to track her, and we don't know where she is now. So Trip and the doctor go searching for a spot that they think she may be. Along the same way, Archer now has to, do whatever a good captain will have to do, and then contact the family. Who the dad is been in Star Trek before, I assume.
Yeah,
right?
he's that dude. It's not Clyde Karatsu, who's an older guy who we see as an admiral and stuff, but he's totally something. Guys, back me up here. Do you recognize him right off the tip?
I have to grab his picture. Give me a second.
There we go.
I don't recognize him.
But he's also
I'm not great at recognizing.
He's also
he was Buck Buckeye.
Ah, there you go.
Oh.
And that's in my notes. Duh. Buck Buckeye was another imaginary character in early episode of DS9. So yeah.
So I mean, I'm probably gonna miss some story beats here, but essentially,
no big deal.
We have Trip and the Doctor. They found in like the corridors like this goo. And they were taking a sample of the goo, so they thought it was going to be her. So that was something they've got to give to her parents and say, "Here's all that's left of your daughter."
Here you go. We'll send it. We'll send it space UPS, and it'll get there in 6 to 12 years. Yeah, how would they even get it to her? Or to them? So yeah, just get her.
It's not slime. It's your daughter. Sorry.
Yeah, but it is green. It was a little green. It's dark green. Yeah,
exactly. So there's essentially they kind of said eventually she's just going to disappear. We have to do something quick, and obviously it doesn't go according to plan. But Hoshi is now hearing the voices of the aliens, and then she decides, oh no, they're doing a bomb. We have to stop them.
A thing. Yeah,
they're doing a bomb. We got to stop them, and she's gonna try to stop them. And not sure what she can do because she's trying to use devices and see if she can interact with it. Doesn't work.
Right.
But then she sees them when it's about to go down. She sees them use a transporter. So she decides to get over her fears and just follow them for the safety of the crew to hopefully do something.
Right.
And that's kind of the end of the story because I'm looking how much time is left. Oh, there's like 4 minutes left in this episode. So
it's gonna be a Voyager ending because you guys can all appreciate that if you're watching Voyager and it's on at 8 p.m. and it's 8:52, you're like, oh, they're gonna find a way to wrap this up in a way that seems super convenient.
Unless it's a two-parter, but I wasn't expecting it. So
right, yeah, exactly.
Hoshi's transporter adventure, a two-part extravaganza.
Why not?
Yes. A two-part dive. All right, I'll jump in and I'll take us home. So, Ghost Hoshi or Goshi, as I call her, is trying to break down the bombs. And I did write the aliens have super common alien Star Trek gibberish language, which I feel like she should be able to pick out because it's like and it's just it all really sounds the same. But for the purpose of this,
that's very speciest of you, Charlie.
Yeah.
I know. Sorry, I know. Oh, great! I've just gotten myself canceled on my own show. But anyway,
you cannot visit Kronos anymore. I'm sorry.
Yes, I learned a little bit of Klingon by watching Star Trek 3. But anyway, all right. So yeah, she jumps on their transporter after they've set up the bombs and stuff, and then oh my goodness, the great news is she materializes on the Enterprise pad, and none of that stuff happened. She's totally fine. It took 8.9 seconds, and she's good. But she jumps off and says, "We got to catch the aliens." They're like, woman, what are you talking about? Go to sickbay. And she's talking to Flax, and Flax is, of course, the voice of reason. And he's like, yeah, you were in there for 8 seconds, but it was only the last 2 seconds that this episode took place. So it's all good. And then they pat her on the head, and the episode is over. So
what a letdown.
There is a reason why Barkley is afraid of transporter segments.
Yes.
Yes.
yeah, because even in that episode, which was early in season 6, so we'll be talking about it eventually on this show. It was, he actually accomplished something by getting stuck in the transport because he was able to rescue like trapped crew members or something. And there's nothing. So, that's the end of the episode.
It's all in her head.
It's all in your head. So, why don't we go around the horn? I say give it a final rating out of 10 transporter episodes. Ooh, well, no, that would be ranking it, and I don't want to go that far. It'll just be out of 10. I gave this one a 3 out of 10. What a stinker. I said, Hoshi doesn't make a very convincing Ally McBeal. Nobody listens to me. I know Ally McBeal might be a reference that goes over anybody's head, but not me. Ally McBeal, if you know who Callista Flockhart is, she's actually Harrison Ford's wife. You'd never heard of Harrison Ford? That's surprising.
I've heard of Harrison Ford. I don't pay attention
explain
to
the reference, Charlie. You might as well move on.
I will. Ally McBeal was a terrible show on Fox in the late 90s that my mother loved, and it was a whole thing.
She's like a lawyer with personal problems.
Right.
And
the Dancing Baby, and Vonda Shepard did all the songs in the bar they hung out in. Just Google it. But anyway, no character development, no stakes, nothing of value except Jen. It does really on a kind of a socio, gender level,
social commentary level.
I was looking for a something, and you helped me find it. I appreciate that.
Yeah,
it does really underscore the fact that people generally ignore women when they say, "Hey, I have a real problem," particularly on the medical side, and that's
right. Because she, in up until the last 5 minutes of the episode, she did have a real problem, and so I'm like, okay, cool. This is like a 6.5, maybe, before the last 5 minutes, and then the last 5 minutes just drove it to
your final rating, which is
way down. Yeah. I don't know, because like a 4 maybe. Like, it's not the worst episode. There's still something to say about it. It reminds me a lot of the Next Phase from Next Generation, where Geordi and Ro had the same kind of issues.
The same. I can walk through walls but not fall through decks.
Right. And I can sit on tables and stuff. But that episode was more poignant because you had, Data mourning Geordi, and you had
the struggle
more to
death.
say with this one. This was like, no one seems to care that Hoshi's missing or dead.
It's a real bummer.
But that might be the thing that she's afraid of too. So as far as a character development for Hoshi, to know what she's afraid of or concerned of, I have to say that part of it is valid, at least. It's just that ending.
Yeah.
It's all a dream is always one of those endings. It's like me.
Yeah, right.
Hey, at least she didn't wake up in the shower.
Oh, yes. Oh, there's another reference.
I was just in the shower to begin with.
She from the bottom of the shower.
She never left.
Yeah, she never left. Still in the shower. All right, Peter. How about you?
I would probably, like Jen, give this a 4. It's not an amazing episode. There are things that I really like about it. I love laughing at the hamster ball because it's stupid.
That was a highlight. I agree.
But
highlight, low light.
I think that I like where they were going for, like Jen, I liked what they were doing with most of the episode, like the idea of people not listening to you. I didn't really cue into that too much. I don't know why. I just didn't. But I was more paying attention to the fact of like people ignoring you because something's wrong with you, or that feeling of like disappearing. So I liked how they handled that. I also liked how they kind of hinted at things that either people criticized Hoshi's character for that then the character could be insecure about. And so they were coming out throughout this whole thing of like, hey, Hoshi, you should be able to understand this language by yourself. Because everyone's like, oh, Hoshi, she's a prodigy. Why is she that way? And then
right.
And then you have this insecurity of like, well, she doesn't believe herself to be a prodigy because she knows that it's a skill. It's not like I'm a wunderkind.
Yeah.
And so she then gets put up against something. I can't figure it out, but everyone thinks I should be able to figure it out. Ah!
Right.
And then
Yeah,
the other officer who comes in can suddenly do it instantly for some reason.
Yeah, right.
So it's interesting, I think, how you have those concerns that people were voicing about the character, but then being brought into the character of her expressing them of like, that's not me, or I'm worried about this, or why are people saying this? And so it's like, I thought that was interesting how that got brought in.
Gotcha.
So, but then she's able to overcome her fear of transporters. I did find it funny how it did kind of tie into the other, like TNG TOS. Like you had the classic, I don't like transporters, old man McCoy kind of attitude, which is great. It was like, Hoshi doesn't like the transporters. But then you see like that is still experimental. So you have the justification for Barclay and all these other things later, like the transporter. It's a very powerful tool, but this is one of those episodes where it's like, it shows it's also dangerous. Right. And Enterprise, I think, has generally been pretty good for the most part about showing that the transporter it's safe, but it's not. And so I think that
just like the holodeck.
Yes, but even more so with this. And so I think that this episode, if you just take it from like that sort of meta viewpoint, there's a lot of interesting things about how the transporter is and how it affects your mind, which is interesting. But because of the ending, it's just kind of so
it's just kind of meh. All right, Todd, take us home. Where do you land?
I'm going to call this episode The Yellow Wallpaper, or the writer of this episode just read The Yellow Wallpaper. If you don't remember that book, it's an early feminist book about a woman essentially going insane. There's yellow wallpaper, and she is absorbed into the wallpaper. It's kind of like a madness.
That's new one on me.
Like how women are not treated well. It's a really cool piece of literature. So I'm guessing the writer was influenced by that, because essentially she's getting absorbed in the transporter, not being ignored, not being recognized, ignored. And not a great episode, especially to your point. No, not a lot of character development. Hoshi was okay, but I think maybe in a better writer's hands, there had been more depth to the story and to the characters. But at this point, I didn't feel like, as someone who wasn't as familiar with Enterprise, I didn't feel like there was a lot going on with the characters. I mean, I'm like, I really liked their take on a specific entrance. Phlox seemed aloof. Archer seemed a little bit, I don't know, kind of disaffected at times, and then sometimes he was really sad.
And same with T'Pol too. T'Pol was like, well, somebody else figured it out, so okay.
But remember that these versions of the characters are not supposed to be exactly
correct.
Right. Yeah, it's very true.
Exactly. Yeah.
It's very bookended. We only see the real versions of the characters for the total like 6 minutes of screen time, probably. So yeah.
So I don't know. I thought it was okay. I've seen worse tropey episodes of Star Trek, but this one didn't make me like, I've got to watch more Enterprise. So in that case, it didn't really succeed. Especially, this is second season. You kind of feel like, I don't know. I think the third season of Enterprise is where it gets like.
It was long and episodic, and it had this one through storyline, which was starting to become a thing because it was in 2004. I think 2004. Mm-hmm. Yeah.
So I'll give it a 3.5. I'll kind of go in between.
Yeah, all right. So we got a 3, 3.5, and 2 4s. All right, good deal. Nothing super interesting in the background information. This was filmed over Scott Bakula's birthday in early October, and he got a red carpet celebration. And production personnel wore black caps with the word captain on it to mark the occasion. And does note that, yes, guest actor Keo Young played Hoshi's father, was Buck Pokai in the Deep Space Nine episode If Wishes Were Horses. And crewman Baird, who takes Hoshi's place, was an alien in the Star Trek episode Living Witness, which we're actually going to be talking about in segment 2. How excited! What a great segue. All right, well, I'm going to wrap this up. Todd, thank you for jumping in. I'm excited about this new segment. We're working some of the bugs out because we had some conversations about how we really want to do this. This does actually broaden our show a little bit, makes our show a little bit longer, and I think we had some great conversations. So I was excited about that. Todd, in passing, because you're going to be leaving us, where do people find you out there in the world?
Very quickly, for all things Secret Friends Unite, go to secretfriendsunite.com. Go to threads at TODD OXTRA at secret.friends.unite for us, and then Twitter, very similar as well. So
yeah, very good, awesome.
Thanks for having me on.
Yeah, Todd, thanks again. And after a brief pause, we will return to finish season 4 of Star Trek Voyager. We'll be back. Alrighty, right back again for part 2. We are wrapping up season 4 of Star Trek Voyager. Dun dun dun. Does not include the Garbage Man episode that Peter watched by mistake, but we won't talk about that until we get to the first portion of season 5 of Star Trek Voyager. But anyway, yeah, we are we're on the home stretch, and so I will kick it off. By talking about episode 21, the Omega Directive. Director is Victor Lobel. Lisa Klink did the teleplay with story by Jimmy Diggs and Stephen J. K. Just kidding. Stephen, just kidding. I don't recognize their names. Not sure they're regulars, but who's to say? From April of 1998, Janeway undertakes the Omega Directive, a Starfleet order, which they don't mention here, to destroy Omega molecules, even if it means violating the Prime Directive. So this is our first touch of Voyager. Now again, several episodes back, we met. They had the Herodian thing with the network, and they connected with Starfleet, so Starfleet knows they're alive, and they got a bunch of letters and blah blah blah. But this is the first time they're taking on a standing, pre-programmed Starfleet mission that only captains know about. That in the Alpha Quadrant, when you find out about it, everything shuts down, and they bring in a special group of nerds to tell you what to do about it, and a special group of nerds. It could be an episode title, but we'll see what develops. But it's funny because much like what happens a lot in this block of episodes, you got and the last one, you got Janeway and Seven are just loggerheads. They can't make their mind up. Seven as a Borg is like this Omega molecule is perfection. The Borg found it once for 0.12 seconds before it nuked us, but it's like it's the Borg Jesus, for lack of a better, in the form of a molecule. So they're loggerheads about that. Janeway realizes she doesn't have anybody, obviously, to form a super team of nerds to help her out. So she's got to let her regular team of nerds, meaning her senior staff, get involved and help out and find out, because this Omega molecule is being directed. It's within sensor range, and it's some alien race that's messing with it. And if it detonates, it destroys subspace, which means they're going to be effectively stranded for a very long time to come. So, I dug this episode, thought it was cool. It's neat that they could find a way to bring core Star Trek back into it with this Omega Directive, which is something that, is in the back of the head of all of our other captains, because they've all of our 24th century captains, because I think they reference the original incident having taken place maybe post TOS. I'm not exactly sure. But anyway, Picard and Cisco and our other captains would all know about it as well. So yeah, I thought that was cool. It was a good way to kind of suck regular Alpha Quadrant-y stuff back into it. So Peter, your thoughts?
I quite enjoyed this episode. I mean, for me, the bit where Janeway and Seven are butting heads, it's not old yet, but at least when I was going through the rest of them, it's like, okay, get it. They butt heads. Okay.
Right.
So like, I mean, I do like how you have like the Borg viewpoint and then the Starfleet viewpoint, because they needed that conflict of like, well, 7 of 9 wants to save the particles because they're perfection, and then Janeway wants to destroy them because, well, Starfleet said so, and they're also extremely dangerous. So I enjoyed this one. It was interesting that it's like no one's been able to stabilize it or do anything, and then you have this little alien race that's trying to make it. It's like,
this little, you make it sound like the Keebler elves. We're working in our little.
Well, I mean, they're not like diminutive, but just like they're in their own pocket of.
They're pre-warp, so
yeah. So it's like finding, I don't know, the Aztecs working on a nuke. And
right.
So
how'd you guys get that? Yeah.
Ancient aliens.
Yeah.
So it was just that was just a little odd for me, just because it's like you're working with technology that not even the Borg can handle, and you're like not even the level of Enterprise. Right,
exactly. They'd get caught in the transporter like Hoshi did.
Yeah. So, but overall, I really like how they deal with it. I thought it was kind of fun how at the end Seven is able to like observe the Omega particle for longer than the Borg did before they're able to nix it. and it doesn't destroy the ship. So, that's a plus.
That's a big thumbs up. I like that. Well mannered. Cool.
Yeah.
Good deal. All right, Jen.
So I like this episode. I remember this episode being one that I really enjoyed because of introducing this aspect of spirituality to Seven, who is normally like so pragmatic, right?
Right.
I liked the flip from the previous episode, Prey, where you had Janeway going, no, we have to reach out to the species, and Seven going, no, we have to destroy it, it's dangerous. In this one, that's reversed.
Juxtaposed.
So I like that's it shows the variety of their character. It's not a bad thing that they will have different standpoints on different things. It does, in a way, seem a little bit like, well, they're going to have a difference of opinion just because they have to have a difference of opinion. I said that when they went down to the planet and Tuvok reminded Janeway that this would be a violation of the Prime Directive, and she's like, you know what? No, you can have a little Prime Directive violation as a treat. Like, she's treating it like we're going to...
Prime Directive Cheat Day is now the name of the episode. Oh, score. Nice work, Jen. Nice work.
And I know that we haven't really talked about Discovery much, but I just recently rewatched all of Discovery, and man, this would have been so much better of an explanation for the burn.
Oh,
yes. Yes, it would have.
Totally. Oh my God, you're right.
They even mention Boromite and the subspace damage, which is an awful lot like the DMA in Discovery Season 4.
Oh my gosh, they're data mining Voyager to make Discovery.
But not even
there's more. There's more coming on, yeah. But I'm like, this really just would have been a better way to explain the burn, and I'm just going to leave it at that in case anyone hasn't seen Discovery.
Right.
If the Borg had actually succeeded in synthesizing Omega at like a volume and exploded themselves accidentally, great.
That's cool. Yep.
That'd also be a very appropriate way for the Borg, who are always adapting, to take themselves out like punks.
Yeah. Right.
So.
Right. Ooh.
Because we don't see the Borg in Discovery.
Right. Yeah. So where they're at. My.
That's just my opinion.
I like it. Wow. Yeah. That's I did not really think about it that way. I love it. Good deal. Well, all right. Well, okay. We'll move on. Jen, since we're going clockwise to my view, you get the next episode.
Oh, goody. Sorry. Unforgettable, directed by Andrew Robinson and written by...
Did you call it unforgivable or
unforgettable?
There you go, because I'm like...
Unforgettable.
Maybe. Yes, Andrew Robinson.
Andrew Robinson, and written by Greg Elliott and Michael Perricone. Aired April 22nd, 1998. An alien female from a cloaked ship asks for Chakotay by name and requests asylum on Voyager from her people. So this lady shows up looking for Chakotay. She says that she knows him and they had this whole love affair, but she's like the silence on Doctor Who, and you forget her if you're not looking right at her.
Right.
The tricorder won't register her. She says that she's got this pheromone that blocks the long-term memory engrams of other people.
So
it's a very, very convenient explanation for us never having seen her before and no one on Voyager remembering who she is. And like... she fell in love with Chakotay? Okay.
You saying if she fell in love with like Harry Kim might have been more believable.
More people have fallen in love with Harry Kim, surprisingly.
Oh yeah, this was the only real Chakotay romance episode, but for the will they won't they with your...
There was another one with the Borg lady.
Yeah. Riley, what's her butt?
So like there's been a few.
Yeah.
There's been a few. Yeah. Chakotay is not my favorite character, and we'll just leave it at that.
Fair.
So it seems like it's a really good grift. They're really sort of questioning, like, what does she want from us?
It's like the Nigerian prince scam.
Right. It feels like a scam. It's like, well, yeah, there's a totally good reason why you can't remember me, and it's
just give me your
thing. Yeah,
give me your social security number and your debit card, and we'll figure this out.
So the funny, ironic thing here, maybe appropriate, is that I did forget her name when I was watching this episode, and I just kept referring to like the lady in my notes.
The blonde lady.
The lady, yeah, I don't know. There was not a lot that I liked about this episode, and in the end, it's like her people come get her and erase her memory, and Chakotay is trying to like go, no, we were in love, so it
Maybe I love you. Well, sorry,
and
bro.
they're like, and I'm like, okay, I don't know, it's fine.
It's fine. It's fine. It's whatever.
It's forgettable. Unforgettable is forgettable.
Forgettable.
I did like Neelix's speech at the end, though, where he's talking about like the nature of love.
Oh, yeah. So, especially for a guy who's loved and lost, lost family, lost Cass. Yeah.
So there's at least a nice little button on it at the end.
Yeah.
But not my favorite.
I hear you. Peter.
I had something and then it jumped away.
You forgot it.
That's okay.
Yeah, that's appropriate.
I'm going to buy you some time. No, go ahead. I was going to say I'll jump in.
Go for a second. I need to see if I can reclaim that.
That's okay. My recollection of this is the blonde lady is actress Virginia Madsen, who for the longest time I was absolutely certain was an adult film star, but I'm mixing her up with Tracy Lords, who is another kind of buxom blonde from the 90s. And the thing I remember Virginia Madsen from the most was a horror movie set in Chicago, which, Jen, I've mentioned before. You said, I don't do horror movies. It was Candyman, which starred Tony Todd, the early 90s. It was all about the Cabrini Green housing projects and a legend about this dude named Candyman. Oh, God, I've said it twice. I can't say it a third time or he'll show up. That was the crux of the movie. But I remembered her from that. She did also get naked in that, but that does not make her an adult film star. I don't know why that stuck in my head. But, to punctuate it, Jen, you've said it all. Super convenient plot line. And at the end of it, no stakes and no real reason why they fell in love. So it's kind of like, you didn't
but she said so.
Yeah, I mean, it didn't really affect Chakotay's characters. Like, oh, I carry this with me and this great lost love of mine and blah, blah, blah. It's just kind of for nothing. So yeah, it's a for nothing kind of deal. Peter.
I did finally remember what I was going to say.
It sucked.
Well, kind of, but I think for me, the ending wasn't as bad because Chakotay did still honor her request, even though it didn't end up the way that either of them were expecting.
That's true.
The main reason that I say that is because I'm thinking of another film that had something happen just like that, and the character did not honor that request, and it pissed me off.
Boo!
So, the most recent Spider-Man film.
So
it was one of those, like, say what you will about the rest of the story. Chakotay honored what he said, and I appreciated that element for his character in this episode, that he did, like, someone made a request, and even though it's like, oh, well, maybe I don't really feel in full cognizance, she made that request and he followed it. So I liked that, even though she didn't go with it afterwards. It didn't pan out how she thought, well, I'll fall in love with you again. That's not what happened.
Hashtag my people approve.
Yeah. But it was just, that's like the one takeaway from this episode that I thought was good, probably just because the other version of this just annoyed me so much.
I hear ya.
Well, it did show that Chakotay does have integrity.
Yeah.
And he's going to follow through on what he says he's going to do. And that is a consistent thing about his character.
It is. Yeah. Like as much as like the writing makes him do some weird things at various points, or there's other things about his character that are a little wonky, there's a lot of good things in Chakotay, and that's one of them.
Yeah.
So
I something good to take away. All right, Jen, you get the next one. Which
I haven't had one yet.
The next one.
Peter's getting the next one, which was oh man, did I love this one when it came out. I wish it was mine, but Peter, it's yours.
All right, this is episode 23, Living Witness, directed by none other than Tim Russ, televoiced by Brian Fuller and Brandon Braga and Joe Manosky.
Big
triple crown there.
Right,
Story by Brandon Braga. Aired April 29th, 1998. A Kyrian museum curator, 700 years in the future, hopes a relic from Voyager containing a copy of the Doctor, though they don't know that yet, can confirm their version of history.
Ooh, baby.
So the interesting thing is, like, the first like 25 minutes of this episode, you don't even have like the doctor's not there yet. You're getting the alternate version of the events.
Yeah.
Right.
And so it's interesting how you're just experiencing like it begins and you're like, what is going on here?
Right.
It's like a good 10 minutes before they finally like, this is a museum. And you're like, oh, that's what's going on here.
I just love Janeway, regular jumpsuit, just like what you see Peter wearing if you're watching.
No badge and black gloves.
Black undershirt. And she has this very like prison warden haircut and black gloves. Oh,
yeah.
I keep saying it's the closest thing that Voyager gets to a Mirror Universe episode.
True. Yeah, big time.
And it's a good twist on it because it's not an actual Mirror Universe. It's something that's showing like how history passed down, especially if you want to tell a specific narrative, can be twisted to something it's not.
Yeah.
And so I really liked how like you saw the crew, but they weren't themselves. I did like the doctor's quip of like, well, outside of Mr. Paris, everyone's totally different. Like, which was really like,
a knife.
It's just like, Doctor, you really don't like Tom.
It's just
I love that's just
rude.
it's like you're just always it's just funny. So like how the Doctor is an android, he's artificial, but he's not a hologram. He's an android.
Right.
Tuvok has emotions, but he's like evil.
And well, you know what? That goatee is what seals the deal because one is
not a goatee in this one.
No, he totally did, didn't he?
No, he didn't. It was weird. He didn't have a goatee.
He
You'd think, but he didn't.
Right.
Kim is still.
Chakotay had like the whole face.
Chakotay had like a Maori tattoo on his face. It wasn't like.
And Harry Kim had really greasy hair. Tom Paris kind of looked the same.
Tom was Tom, and that was kind of the shtick, which was funny.
Right. Yeah, he's the only consistency. There was no B'Elanna. Could have been. This was.
She was the transporter operator, right?
Yeah.
No.
This could have been the episode where Roxanne Dawson was having her baby. Could have been. So because she was pregnant that season, so it's just kind of a convenient. But this is an episode where we had discounting the Doctor, who is a copy of his program, which is a thing they decided to introduce. No members of the cast appear as themselves.
Correct.
Which is kind of interesting.
Yeah.
So there's holograms eventually when you have the Doctor retell the version of history that he knows.
So yes, all of our people are holograms.
But it's a very interesting story of narrative shift. And how people use history to justify their own vision.
Right.
So you have like, we were the oppressed ones. It's like, well, you were kind of the jackwagons who started.
Yeah, you were the ones killing people. So you turn around. And 700 years is a long time. Think backwards of our own. What was going on this planet 700 years ago?
Very different.
Yeah,
so
exactly.
it's just an interesting take. And because they set it on an alien world that had nothing to do with Earth and had very little to do with any of our particular struggles with that sort of history stuff, it was able to make its point. And that I think is a very good way to do it because it's like it's 700 years. It's not even the Federation. There's no one we know, but we're dealing with this concept of history being, revisionist history. And
because it's separated from Earth and our history, the two sides are not necessarily analogous to
any other particular group, which is very, very helpful when you want to address the concept.
Right.
So it was
very good at doing that.
Yeah, which is why I think that this episode for me is a good touchstone of when Star Trek does that sort of thing right.
Yes.
Or at least very, very well. Because it's like the analogs, if you want to read into it, there are some. Like
there are.
Race is mentioned.
I have Syrian friends. Like
right.
Some of the lines that we hear about certain group struggles. Yeah. But they're different enough. And they're aliens, and the only difference is like prosthetics around the nose. Like
on the nose.
The slightly different
not too on the nose for it. No.
Differently placed ridges. Yes, exactly. Yeah. So cool. Awesome. Jen,
I'm sorry. Go
ahead, please.
Just as a side note, I think because it's 700 years, that puts us right around like the 29th century. Right. So it would be interesting to see if the Doctor is still around. Like I would love to have him as a cameo in the final of
Right.
Discovery just for
Yeah, it
grins
was
and
just-
giggles.
just
'Cause
a
he
couple
knows
more
they'll be
trips.
around.
Right.
But
Yeah,
I
still
don't
on
know
his
if they're
still on his little shuttlecraft making that long trip.
So
yeah.
depending on timing, this is right around the time of the burn too. Obviously, this wasn't something that had been conceived of by when Voyager was happening.
Right.
But taking into account, they're like, we don't know what the Federation is. We don't know if Starfleet still exists. It's like it's a neat way to tie into that.
Yeah.
Again, it's a retroactive continuity thing that I'm really only paying attention to because Discovery's so fresh in my mind right now
Yeah.
as I'm watching it in preparation for season 5. But it's neat to see that there's some level of consistency. But Brian Fuller wrote this one, right? He was part of the writing team on it.
Yeah.
And
Like
he
Triple Crown.
went on to be a big part of Discovery. I mean, he didn't stick around, but he
Right.
was a part
Yeah.
of that. And I like this, and I really like how at the end too you've got them zooming out again because there's another layer to it, and they're like, and this is how our species,
got our
issues.
Got our shit.
Yeah.
Exactly.
So I thought that was really cool. And it's not a good first episode to show someone. Even though it's a very good, it's a great Star Trek thing, but like I thought about that for a while. I'm like, yeah, but your first 20 minutes are like evil Janeway going, we must use force instead of diplomacy. And it's like, that's the opposite of the Starfleet way.
Like, come on. Yeah, come on, prison.
Not a good introduction, but a great Star Trek story.
Yeah, most def. Yeah, you guys have covered it all. And again, I love the absolute misdirection of the certainly of the cold open, where up to which it's only at the end of that cold open, obviously before the credits, before we get our museum docent, who's our main character, who then interacts with the Doctor version 1.111, is the same guy. And it's funny that he's a copy of the Doctor bit kind of holds up, but it kind of doesn't hold up because the Doctor will be lost forever unless we do blah blah blah. Well, you said you had a copy. This was their copy.
Got jettisoned. Yeah.
But the copy could have been made anytime. After the fact, because this is 700 years in the future, so it doesn't necessarily have to be from this point. Because just a couple episodes ago, we had a message in a bottle, and it's like, we don't have him. He's over there.
Yeah, right.
There's only one copy of him. So maybe at some point,
maybe after
they thought to make a copy of him before they left the Delta Quadrant.
Right, because again, this
and lost it.
Oh, and we lost it again because this episode is, of course, much like most, non.
Or it could have it doesn't even necessarily have to be before they left the Delta Quadrant, because we know that people are eventually going to go back to the Delta Quadrant at some point.
Oh yeah, okay.
So it could have been any time. Now
well, I'm just thinking more that it would have to be a copy from this particular event because that's all he remembers.
Yeah, right. and it was.
But we don't know when this
event
took place.
That's very true. Yeah, so you don't know that this is at all chronological. This could have happened 3 weeks before the final episode of the series. Yeah,
theoretically.
There's nothing to take it back. This would be a great thing to split up and talk about more. But we should move on. We're jumping into episode 24, which is Demon, directed by Anson Williams. All right, guys, get ready for Over Your Head, because Anson Williams played Potsy in Happy Days. Anybody? Oh my
You've
God!
mentioned
Aware
that
of its
before.
existence.
I know. You ain't aware of it because of me. The story is by Andre Boreamis, who is a science advisor to TNG. Obviously, moved into a writing role here, and teleplay by Ken Biller, again a regular name of the series. For May of 1998, Paris and Kim take a shuttle down to an extremely inhospitable Y-class planet to obtain fuel and discover a new form of life. In one of the few episodes that I can think of that gets a great, very misdirection-y kind of sequel in season 6, I think. I'm not sure. Have to look it up.
Confused the living crap out.
I know, just like the Living Witness episode. You're like, what the hell is going on here? But yes, great concept. Something that comes up in Voyager pretty frequently is that they're out of gas. Because they can't stop at a starbase to, get more deuterium, so they're going to run out of juice. So they're in that situation, and they're looking for anything that they can before they're totally dead in the water. And that's when they find, the super inhospitable planet that it looks like it has what they need, but they end up bumping into this, mimetic goo, which grabs them, and because Class Y planet is, as you said, completely inhospitable, or as Tuvok mentions, the very most inhospitable anything that you'll ever find anywhere. And yeah, it ends up reproducing Tom and Harry, because when the rescue party goes down to find them, they don't have their suits on anymore. They're like, I woke up and then I was fine, and he's just wearing his regular outfit. And then, but when they get them back to the ship, they're suffocating because they can't breathe air. They have to breathe demon juice, which is down on this planet. And so so naturally, in a very Star Trek-y kind of way, they figure out a way to because this is the way that this demon class species reproduces. They have to absorb and then live in the copy of the person they've copied. So Voyager makes a deal, which is funny because it's cloning, which remember back in TNG, the season 2 episode where the cloners wanted to clone Riker and Pulaski and Geordi.
Up the long ladder.
Yeah. They're like, no, there's no way there's going to be a copy of me out there. That's terrible. And the Voyager people are like, you know what? That's a fine deal. We'll go ahead and do that, because then the demon people copy everybody. Voyager gets their gas. They take off. And the really incomprehensible part of this is that, yes, all the demon people are down there, but they then somehow recreate Voyager, which is weird. And then they get on Voyager, fly away, and their brains forget that they're demon class people. And then now in that sequel episode, which we'll talk about, as I said, much further down the road, they forget that they're demon class people. But anyway, for the purpose of this episode, nice. It solves a problem. But I don't know. I thought it was okay. But yeah, there are parts of it, of the sequel portion of this, which are kind of problematic because they aren't really addressed in this, but hey, what are you going to do? I thought it was okay. Jen.
I think it's okay too. It's one of those that sticks out in my mind because the biomimetic goo is such a unique concept.
Yeah.
I got to give my props to Harry Kim, who is trying his best to speak up and be heard.
Yeah, that was. I did like it. He decided to kind of nut up.
He's trying. He's like, I am not. Please give me another pip. Please, come on.
Yeah, come on, I can do it. It's not that hard.
He's trying. So props to him for that. I like that Janeway's solution is respectful of the crew, so that she's saying that you can copy our people, but they have to give consent.
Right.
So
yes. Unlike Up the Long Ladder, where they just they just clone raped them. Sorry.
So it's respectful, at least, and then you have the people who are volunteering to be copied.
Yeah, and it looks like everybody does it, or at least that's the most.
We don't see anybody dissenting, really. I don't think.
Well, I mean, it's not really touched on at all because it's just then you flashed your shot, Voyager's taken off, and you see little people underneath. So you're just assuming that there's 150 some odd people down there.
It's a problem. There's a solution. There's a weird thing that happened.
That's cool. we put one thing on the other thing, a la the Lego Movie. Peter.
Yep. I enjoyed this episode. I liked the moment where you had Tom discover that he's not Tom Paris.
Yeah.
It's like, up until this moment, I thought I was Tom Paris. Like, there's some good acting in here when you have the characters who discover that they're not.
Right. Right.
The originals are the copies. I have a soft spot for this episode because there was a role-playing game that I was in that actually used this as a story.
Oh, nice.
Oh, cool.
Which was hilarious because then I had to play 2 versions of my character.
Nice.
Imagine a Vulcan and then someone who looks like one but isn't. And so it gets all the shenanigans. So it's entertaining. But I do like how this one actually has a follow-through because a lot of episodes don't, where you get like the next, like, okay, so we have a copy of the crew. What happens to them? That's a story.
They're just floating around out there.
There's just a bunch of Voyager Starfleet people sitting on this planet.
It's like the dead Harry Kim from the other episode where they were copied.
Yeah, which he mentions even in this. He says, "Hey, I've even died," but he died twice because he died in that season 1 thing where they had to put him in the pod. Yeah, they had to beam him back.
He's died a couple times, and that's the thing. Like,
it's like Scotty.
Like this where like. And Neelix died and got better. And people on Voyager keep dying and getting better or getting copied. And and never addressed on how that will affect someone. Like,
No.
Yeah.
which is fine. It's fine.
Especially the copying thing. I'm never really a fan of leaving that unaddressed. Like, for instance, in Deep Space Nine, where he had the copy of O'Brien. It's a copy of him from 4 hours in the future, and it's just like, but now, okay.
Or the one where he thinks everybody's against him, but he's the copy, and we just get that in the end when he gets zapped in season 2.
Yeah. So the copying bit, I'm not the biggest fan of, but like, and then having people die and come back it's a little weird. Like, you'd think that they're finding
traumatic.
Or ever come up again, just be like, them's the break.
Other than a joke, because it's like in the rest of the shows, it's like if someone dies, like they're dead,
right?
So you don't come back from that. Not mostly dead. This is going through their pockets for loose change dead. So,
Peter, I don't want to know how you're spending your nights, but
that's
all right,
a Princess Bride reference.
Oh yeah. Okay, good. That's good.
Miracle Max. What?
Yes. Yeah. Well, yes, not like a Thanos dead. It's the snap.
No, not that kind.
I'm the witch and the chief engineer.
Oh my goodness. Holy cow. All right, let's move on to whose turn is it? Now I've totally forgotten.
I think it's Jen.
It's me? Okay.
There you go.
Good. The next episode is One, directed by Kenneth Biller and written by Jerry Taylor.
The boss.
Aired May 13th, 1998. 7 of 9 is left alone on Voyager when a nebula's deadly radiation forces the rest of the crew to stay in stasis, and the Doctor's holographic program is disrupted. So they find this nebula that they can't pass through without people like having biological issues. They're starting to have headaches. They're starting to have issues. They propose that they go into stasis. It'll be Seven and the Doctor because the technological parts, the Doctor's a hologram, so he should be fine. He's all technology. Seven's mostly technology, some technology, so she will be fine.
Right.
And then she's not fine.
Aw, now you're not fine. Womp womp.
And I really like this episode. I mean, yes, I love Seven, but regardless of whichever character this would be, I think that it would be one that I like. There is a study here of connection versus isolation. It talks a lot about fear and anxiety, what you're used to, and how being isolated harms that, changes that. In a post-pandemic world, this episode in particular takes on a different type of significance for me personally.
I hear that.
You've got this guy coming on in the middle because he's trying to get through the nebula too. Seven's not registering that he's a creepy creeper.
Creepy creeperson.
And until she does, and then she's like, you will not be accommodated, and tries to get him out. She's like, no, you suck, get out of the ship. And he keeps coming back in her mind as she starts to hallucinate. She starts to see and hear other crew members who were they on fire in this one? Something was going on.
They were burned.
Yeah, everybody was melty because that's what Nebula did. Made everything
melty. A foreshadowing of the other. Anyway, but for someone who is so unflappable and so I will adapt and so just determined to power through any traumatic experience, this Seven recognizes when she's compromised, and she recognizes that this is a problem for her, and you see her vulnerable, you see her kind of breaking down, you see the flashbacks to the trauma of assimilation and her not being able to deal with isolation. And it just felt like a really realistic portrayal to me. I thought that Jerry Ryan's acting is really great in this also. I really love this one. a lot.
Gotcha. I do like it as well. What I guess what taints this one for me is they do the exact same story on Enterprise with T'Pol and the Doctor there. So it diminishes my like of this one because it was a photocopy on the next series. But yeah, I like everything that you had to say about it. And again, they do take the opportunity to kind of stick some more pins in poor Tom Paris because he was the toddler that kept getting out of bed, and the Doctor was making fun of him. But at the end, Seven was like, "Well, maybe you just didn't like being alone." And you were like, "Aw, I thought that was sweet." But for some reason, my mind blends with the counterpart from Enterprise, which was not really done with any particular zest. And so, but in going back and watching it again and not thinking about that aspect of it and remembering, obviously I was, watching it this time, I remember catching this one and thinking, hey, that's a good take. Don't you love it how they can replicate these big, like 150 different stasis tubes and still have they have the power to do that and to power them. But in the previous episode, they were running out. They must have gotten a lot of gas on the Demon planet and had like tanks of it, like see on the back of the ship, that they had all this extra juice to power the replicators. But whatever, it's a Voyager thing.
It's Voyager.
It's Voyager.
It's not supposed to be logical.
We only have 140 torpedoes. Proceeds to fire 290. Yeah.
At the same time. All right, Peter, your thoughts.
I enjoyed this episode. I think that the character development for Seven here is pretty solid.
Yeah,
where you have her begin with her whole like, I am Borg, I don't need anybody, blah blah blah, and then you do have some people like the Doctor going like, well, yes, but you'll be fully alone, and you haven't done that before. Like you've been aloof, but not alone.
Aloof and alone.
So.
Still not good enough to supplant the episode title.
No,
but it's not a bad one.
So it's an interesting thing how she learns about herself of like, I am capable of being self-sufficient, but even as an individual, I need other people.
Mm-hmm.
And so you see her kind of crack that shell, and at the end of the episode where she actually reaches out and doesn't interrogate everyone like the beginning of the episode, which is funny.
It was funny.
Like rapid fire interrogation. What did you do this weekend? How was this? What did you like about this?
State the sports you play. Tell me about the sexual nature of your relationship with Tom Harris. Like it's funny.
Just funny. But then at the end, like she actually is just like, can I sit with you? Which is something that she hasn't done up until this point.
Right.
And so there's just a really cool moment where she's like able to recognize like, I am still self-sufficient, but that doesn't mean that I also don't need to rely on other people. And this is where I think this is, I'm not going to say it's a turning point for her, because I think that they kind of wibble wobble on it a little bit.
They do.
But it is kind of a point where the character begins to open up and recognize that she is an individual who needs other people. And starts to accept the friendship of the rest of the crew. Yeah. And so I think,
as much as Voyager has turning points, this is
as much as it does, this is one. And so it's like, I really, really like that part of it. So and the acting is solid and all that. So like overall, I think this is a pretty good episode.
Good deal. Awesome. All right. Well, Peter, take us home with the season finale.
Episode 26, Hope and Fear. Directed by Werner Colby. Teleplay by Brandon Braga and Joe Manoski. Story by Rick Berman, Brandon Braga, and Joe Manoski. Aired
not Rick Berman. Okay.
Aired May 20, 1998. Paris and Neelix return from a mission with a passenger named Arturus, another one of Neelix's bad decisions, who knows more than 4,000 languages. He manages to decode a message from Starfleet that would lead to a way home.
But of course it would.
But of course it is not the way that it appears.
Nope. Even Janeway skepticism is great. Well, we've had other opportunities that haven't worked out. And our guest star is Ray Wise, who is a great that guy kind of 90s and aughts actor, and played Liko in the Who Watches the Watchers episode of TNG in season 3, where he was the guy who thought Picard was the Picard. He was the god because he misunderstood being resuscitated near death.
I was trying to like place him. I was like,
he was also one of the gang in RoboCop.
that's a bit point.
Yeah, that's a bit point. But yeah, but he was in Twin Peaks as well, if you watch that show, which I really didn't. But anyway, that's my Ray Wise-ography for you this episode. Yes.
So, but overall, this is a cool episode. This is where we actually get to see the Dauntless design, which makes it return Prodigy.
Yes.
Which I thought was an interesting design choice for Prodigy.
Right.
Because it's an alien ship.
Right.
Not Federation. But, that's fine. They can take designs wherever they want. But you have a character who has like Hoshi-like abilities, just ramped up. I know we were talking about that episode in the beginning.
He's got that big brain.
He's the one that everyone is trying to make her seem to be.
Yeah. Right. Knows anything.
Can understand any language, can understand any computer programming language, because that's just how the species operates.
Right.
Like, I'm a living universal translator, which is an interesting concept. Like, we've got races that can do all sorts of different things. And so this one is, as far as I can recall, this one's unique in the sense that just they explicitly talk about the fact that he can grasp any language instead of just, hey, we landed on the planet and we suddenly are talking the same language. Like,
right, exactly.
Directly addresses that, which is interesting. But then you have like this call from Starfleet, which fun thing is that they're wearing the First Contact uniforms, because
we don't talk about that.
But it's interesting because Starfleet is actually it's showing that it's from the Alpha Quadrant, and so time has passed.
Right. So we know it's legit. We
know when it is, but they don't.
Right.
So at first when I saw it, I saw it and I was like, okay, because I didn't remember everything about the episode. I was like, okay, for a second I was just thinking, okay, they just grabbed the cutout from the Admiral from First Contact and just threw it in there. So until they played the video of him actually speaking, I just thought that they just had video.
And that actor, Jack Shearer, played a flashback version of an admiral. Remember when early in season 2 when Harry Kim flew through an anomaly, and then he was experiencing this reality where he was never on Voyager. Jack Shearer was an admiral in that, but he was a different guy. He had a different name. So this one is the same guy from First Contact, who the admiral's ship has been destroyed, but he lived. Obviously, because then he shows up. And we may have to wiki/memory out for this, but it is same actor, 2 different admirals. So they're cousins. Who knows? They're
He's got the Tom Paris Locarno thing.
Yeah. Oh, there you go. Very good. Yeah. Except for they're both okay admirals. They're like not like really bad guys. They're not bad admirals, I don't think.
No.
But anyway.
Yeah. Lots of people look alike.
Lots of people look alike. Peter's making it look like I'm scrolling now.
Multiple people.
You bet. All right, Jen. Your thoughts on this one?
The Dauntless was cool.
Yeah.
The Quantum Slipstream was cool,
and it comes back. We get it back.
And I like that those 2 things come back later. I mean, not just in Voyager, but like you said, also in Prodigy.
Right.
This guy turns out to be a total fraud.
Yeah.
He's like,
big time. He's a
vengeance upon you.
Yeah, because, mustache twirling villain. Just
like the fact that Janeway's pact with the Borg meant that the Borg and species 8472 are no longer at war. This was a species that had been unassimilatable.
Right.
And there are clues as to his true purpose and motive there for a while, because he's like, oh, you're a Borg. Okay. And
he fixates on that. Yeah.
Big time.
He does fixate on that. And, again, it's more Seven and Janeway butting heads as they're both captured by the Potato Man. And,
that's
I'm sorry,
that's a Simpsons reference when Homer is sneaking backstage to a U2 concert, and the security guards are like, "Who are you, Potato Man? You're 2 hours late. Where have you been?" Oh, I'm sorry. Anyway, please continue.
So the guy is totally fine. He's like, all right, as long as it's just Janeway and Seven, you guys can be assimilated. I will have my vengeance. He's totally fine with him also being assimilated, because like his people are gone as far as he knows.
Yeah, right.
I like the fact that at this point, Seven's presented with what she wants, which is the return to the collective. She started this season wanting to go back. And throughout this, when they're talking about like, we get a way to go back to Earth, she's like, I will not go,
Yeah.
and you
Yeah.
cannot make me.
I might.
And what are you going to do? Float around the Delta Quadrant by yourself? She's like, yeah, that's exactly what I'm going to do. So there.
Yeah.
I like that she realizes that that's not what she actually wants because the alternative is presented. So that was cool. And it seems like Janeway and Seven have made some inroads here because you have Janeway recognizing that, Seven's Borg adaptations can get them out of the brig. She can pass through the force field. Recognizing that, yes, there are some ways in which Seven is superior because of her Borg technology, but, they're addressing the fact that Seven's been just going against everything that Janeway says. She's just being contrary just to be contrary, which she has been doing.
Yeah, grumpy teen. Well, I just want to be contrary. Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
I'm not going, and you can't make me.
Exactly.
I'm gonna go to my room, and
I'm gonna call Dad. Yeah, I'm gonna lose my dad. Bah, bah, bah. Yeah.
Right. So, it's a fine season ending in that it resolves some of the conflict that we started with the beginning of the season. I like that we have some skepticism about this, sort of miracle presented here. And Janeway's the one who just discovers that, yeah, this guy's a fraud. We got the real message from Starfleet, and that's not what they said.
And they said, sorry, and we wish you best luck in your future endeavors. Basically. Oh, so sad. I enjoyed the non-cliffhangery bit because I do the presupposition is that season ending, we got to keep everybody hanging through the end of the summer. It's got to be a best of both worlds or Scorpion or what some of the other big cliffhangers that we've had throughout Star Trek. I like that this it was a self-contained story, but it, like you said, it set in motion some important things about who had become the two most important characters on the show, obviously, and how they were constantly loggerheads against each other. Thought about how this ends because Janeway and Seven are able to escape because the slipstream technology is adapted to Voyager for about 5 minutes before it burns out, and so they're able to chase them and rescue them. Now our tourist and his ship arrive in Borg space, and he's assimilated, obviously off screen. So now that the Borg have this technology and his sick language skills, isn't there a point at some point in the future where Seven gets plugged back into the collective that she could have just maybe kind of snuck that how to make it work the right way technology back in and fixed it? I don't know, but it would have ended the show. They would have gotten home too quickly. I don't know.
Yeah,
maybe that's
Seven already talked about how it was analogous to Borg transwarp technology.
Oh, there you go. Okay.
So she already had an understanding of it anyway.
So the Borg really cared more about the sick language skills and not the
they like
we're good.
They like the big computer brain. They didn't care.
Yeah, they were not. Yeah, it was just like, yeah, exactly. It's your car can also do this, and they're like, no, we really care that it can do this. Gets from point A to point B. All right. Well, wrapping up the season. And again, I don't want to say, hey, pick a season favorite, but you're more than welcome to. But at the very least, let's pick a favorite and a least favorite, Peter, of this grouping. And Peter, I'll start with you.
Okay. Out of this grouping, I think my favorite is Living Witness.
Okay. Yeah. Fair. Same. I'd say same.
There's a lot going on there.
Yeah.
In terms of least favorite, I think I'm probably going to be pretty same as everyone else. Unforgettable. As much as I love Andrew Robinson.
Yeah, it's a bummer this directly. Andy Robinson, but yeah, it can't be. And again, Greg Elliott and Michael Perricone, who are the writers, I don't know who they are. It's probably a slush pile deal.
Not a direction problem.
Yeah,
no, it's just not a great story.
It's a script that's stinking. All right, well, I already went, so Jen, that's right back to you then.
I love one. I love Living Witness. It's a real close tie between those two. I'm going to lean a little bit more on one just because of that, but it's real close. Least favorite is Unforgettable. It's a dud.
For sure.
And you know what? And it sucks because Chakotay's stuck with these bad episodes, and it's not his fault.
Right.
That, you know, because it's not the Chakotay of it that makes it a bad episode. Like you said, Peter, it's, you know, his integrity is a part of it, and it's an important part of it.
Yeah.
It's just a crappy script.
Yeah.
And it's unfortunate.
You can't come up with a defense. You can't come up with a defense against that.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
So,
do we have any favorites from the season as a whole that jump out at you? Don't have to have one if you don't think of one. It's totally fine.
Year of Hell.
Oh, yeah. I would. That one's always tough for me to watch because of the poor ship. I loved the 2-part. I like the 3-part Hirogen one where we get the Message in a Bottle and Prey and Hunters. That's probably my triplicate. Peter, one for you.
I wasn't here when we talked about them, but I really enjoyed the Killing Game.
I was thinking of that one too. That's my runner-up.
World War II holodeck episode, which is just, I mean, it's not just World War II. There's other stuff going on too, but like that's the thing that sticks out, and it's just fun.
Yeah.
So
fun is good.
I wasn't here talking about Year of Hell either, but that's
there's more
like,
tension too. But it's like it's just a fun episode. I like how they get all this random stuff of Klingon Janeway and stuff. All this random off the wall things. It's
Klingons killing Nazis is my favorite part of that one. Without a doubt. All right, well, cool. That's going to take us to the wrap, guys. So awesome. That's the end of Voyager. So for our next episode, we are going to begin season 4, the final season of Star Trek Enterprise. Which was, of course, what kicked us off and we'll have a new random sode, which we will not spoil. But you can certainly play at home, I would say, if you're listening to us and want a random sode and drop it in our Discord or hit us otherwise on social media. This is going to be the random sode is going to be a standing feature of the show when we don't have new content to discuss. So that'll probably be something we just continue to do as we move forward. But certainly would entertain suggestions, but it has to be done with the same format. And I might even share our random rolling, though you can find if you go Google random whatever. I know I have it on our spreadsheet so that we can pick one. But yeah, I would love to get feedback from somebody on our Discord or other social medias. So, but anyway, Peter, where do people find you out there?
You can find me around the webs at Petrus Aquinas. I don't usually respond that much, but you can find me there. You can find me on the Discord for the Grand Petoskey, and you can find me on ELH's Twitch channel, where I'm currently game mastering a Star Trek game. So
the Game Master, I love it. Jen, how about you?
I have a Linktree. That's linktree.com/JenWatsonArt. You will find links to my TeePublic shop, my Etsy shop, my Instagram, Facebook. I am on Threads, but I don't really use it much. And of course, my Screen Rant articles.
Excellent. Yes. And always so super proud of you, Jen, being out there, being the voice of Star Trek, not only for yourself, but certainly for us. And we love it. Cool. You can find me over on SFU Threads and my personal threads, which is C3Carpenter, also Instagram. Spell it out. Biggest thing that I get involved in, our Secret Friends Discord, but also the Discord for the USS Grand Petoskey. Peter and I are both members of the chapter of the International Star Trek Fan Club right here in West Michigan. We're one of the biggest ones in the world. I also have the privilege of being in charge of Region 13, which is Michigan and Eastern Canada. If you're a Trekker within the sound of my voice, please visit sfi.org, ussgrandpetoskey.com, or just Google Region 13 SFI and connect with me. I'm happy to help you find Trekkers where you live. So with that, friends, as always, I'm going to tell you that sharing is caring and to keep on trekking.
Be the Starfleet you wish to see in the world.
Peace and long life.
This podcast is part of the Secret Friends Unite podcasting network. Visit secretfriendsunite.com for more great shows, articles, news, reviews, and more. Secret Friends Unite podcasts are available on Apple, Google, Spotify, and other podcast services around the world. If you'd like to be part of the conversation, you can join us on Facebook or our new Discord server, or follow @SecretFriendsU on Twitter. Please subscribe to Secret Friends Unite on YouTube and visit our merch store at tpublic.com. Just search Secret Friends Unite. Thanks for listening.